Top 10 most expensive artifacts ever. A human-made object is referred to as an artifact. Artifacts include art, instruments, and clothing created by people at all times and in all places. The term can also refer to an object's remains, such as a broken pottery shard or shards of glassware. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to go over the top 10 most expensive artifacts ever. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number 10. Napoleon's gold-encrusted sword. During the historical Battle of Marengo in 1800, Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte launched an unexpected attack with his troops to force Austrians out of Italy. He carried an ornate gold-encrusted sword in his hand, the same sword that he used in Egypt during his campaign. According to an auction house, Napoleon's gold-encrusted sword was auctioned off for more than $6.4 million in Italy, which was 200 years old. The last of Napoleon's swords in private hands is worth much less, around $1.6 million, according to the auction house Osenat, which is handling the sale. When the sword was sold, applause exploded in a packed auction hall across the street from one of Napoleon's imperial castles in Fontainebleau, a town southeast of Paris. Osenat did not name the buyer but stated that the sword would remain in Napoleon's family, which had put it on the market. The auction house did not immediately provide additional details. Number 9. Germain Royal Soup Tureen. Silversmith Thomas Germain modeled the antique soup tureen for French King Louis XV. Germain worked as the royal orfèvre from 1728 onwards and became well known for his Rococo style. It is thought to be one of the few remaining silver soup tureens from this period, which adds to its value. Sotheby's head of silver, Kevin Tierney, described the tureen as an object that has survived the melts that were commanded to pay for the 7 Years' War and the French Revolution. A 17th century silver soup tureen once owned by the French royal family sold for a record $10.2 million, and 2 paintings by Claude Monet sold for $26.4 million in a separate auction. The 30-pound silver tureen, which will be auctioned at Sotheby's on Wednesday, the chandelier's price in December 1993 was more than triple the record for a single piece of silver at that time, $3.3 million. Tierney described the tureen as a scarce piece of art steeped in tradition. He said that the French king survived in general melting of silver in 1751 to finance the 7 Years' War and the Revolution. The seller was a Swiss collector named George Ortiz. The buyer has not been identified. Number 8. The Goddard Townsend Antique Secretary Desk. The Goddard Townsend Antique Secretary Desk is a piece of 18th century furniture by John Goddard. In the 1760s, Goddard probably assumed he was making a beautiful bookcase for a Providence merchant named John Nicholas Brown. Brown had no idea the desk would trigger mad waves on the antique market in June 1989, when his descendant and namesake sold the family heirloom to a New York's auction house. The highest tender for $12.1 million was 4 times in the previous world record price for a single piece of furniture. This amounted to $2.97 million, which was paid for Mary Antoinette's Louis XVI table in 1988. Number 7. Princess Catherine Henkel Emerald and Diamond Tiara. An emerald and diamond tiara, formerly in Princess Katharina Henkel von Donner-Smack's set, sold for $12.7 million at the Sotheby's Magnificent and Noble Jewels auction Thursday evening in Geneva. Sotheby's defined the tiara as the most valuable to appear in over 30 years. Clearly, those gathered in the auction hotel Beau Rivage agreed, as the jewelry-plated headstock sold for more than $2 million, exceeding its high estimate. It is made up of 11 rare pear-shaped Colombian emerald drops weighing over 500 carats that were initially used to decorate the Maharaja's waist. These emeralds are also believed to have been in possession of Empress Eugenie. According to Sotheby's, the diamond has a classic emerald cut typically associated with white diamonds. Number 6. Ming Dynasty Gold Tripod Vessel. This antique's stylish elegance would be enough to make it a desirable addition to any collection, but it is also one of the only 8 such antiques. The golden ship is thought to have been constructed during the Ming Dynasty's Xuan period. Emperor Xuan reigned from 1399 to 1435. Emperor Xuan is regarded as one of the most advanced periods of Chinese art, especially in the porcelain industry. This boat is made of 18-karat gold, and it has a pair of 5-clawed dragons chasing flaming pearl cut through the clouds. These flaming pearls are embellished with precious golden-coated carbuncle gems and decorated with a band of disconnected scrolling blades covered in gems such as natural pearls, turquoise, rubies, sapphires, and chrysoberyl cat's eye. The dragons encircle a lotus petal medallion, the bud of which is a blue gleaming sapphire. The antique was sold to a Western bidder in April 2008. Number 5. Pink enameled blue and white porcelain moon flask. This antiquity, which was created between 1736 and 1795, is a work of art that blends blue and white porcelain with pink enamel. Experts may date the work to the 16th century Qianlong dynasty using the character Qianlong name. Because of its rounded shape, the flask is known as a moon flask. There are 2 phoenixes and a flaming pearl. The flask's mouth is knitted with a ruyi string, and the handles are in the shape of dragon scrolls, a Chinese talisman that symbolizes power and good fortune. It was auctioned off in November 1987. It was sold for $16 million at J.J. Lally & Co. in New York. Number 4. Elephant Battle Horn. This utterly functional battle horn is made from an elephant tusk and is meticulously sculpted with hunting animal motifs such as rabbits, ducks, and deers. At a private Scandinavian auction, an elephant battle horn sold for slightly more than $16 million. It is one of only 6 remaining ornamentally sculpted elephant tools. The antique elephant dates from the 11th century. Although these horns were mainly used for hunting, they were also used in conflicts and wars in the 11th century. Number 3. Leonardo da Vinci's Codex Leicester. This ancient scientific text was purchased in 1719 by Thomas Coke, Earl of Leicester. The manuscript is 72 pages long and comprises 18 sheets of paper folded halfway and written on both sides. Da Vinci's notes, written in the style of his signature mirror, drawings, diagrams are included in the work. The manuscript speculates why fossils can be found in the mountains, the properties of water, astronomical theories, and the likelihood of water touching the moon's surface in an odd mix of art and science. Bill Gates purchased the codex in 1994 and scanned every page before making the digital images available online. The codex itself travels to museums around the world daily. It was sold for $30.8 million at Christie's in New York. Number 2. The Badminton Cabinet. The badminton cabinet is a historical piece of furniture from the 18th century that costs twice as much as the most valuable pieces ever sold. The badminton cabinet sold for a record $36.7 million at auction in 2004, making it the world's most expensive furniture piece. In 1726, Henry Somerset, the 3rd Duke of Beaufort, ordered the chest for the first time. On a grand tour of Europe, the 19-year-old Duke made a rare private appeal to the Medici studio while passing through Florence. 30 artisans worked for 6 years to establish the company, one of the last greatest works of art under the Medici family in Florence and the Grand Ducal Workshop's most critical work. The Duke paid about £500 for its decorative masterpiece, Badminton House. The Florentine ebony chest is 3.8 meters high and 2.3 meters wide, with tall legs and a golden bronze crown. The chest is embellished with semi-precious stones and has an intricate surface. In the center is a clock with fleur-de-lis numbers. Number 1. Pinner Qing Dynasty Vase. The most costly antique ever sold is this Chinese vase. The Pinner Qing Dynasty vase is a gold vase with fish and floral motifs valued for its purity and elegance. It is also sporadic. The vase, which bears the imperial seal, was made for Emperor Qianlong, who reigned from 1736 to 1795. It's unclear why the vase ended up in a London auction house from the imperial city of China. According to legend, it was brought home as a souvenir by an explorer who traveled to China in the 1920s. It was initially thought to be a decent replica worth just $1,000. When it was discovered to be authentic, the antique was revalued at $1 million. The Chinese billionaire manufacturer, flush with cash, purchased the vase at the 2010 Bainbridge auction for £43 million, a world record. The buyer, however, was unable to pay the purchasing auction fees, which would have raised the total price to £53.1 million. For more than a year, the buyer and seller were at odds. Finally, the vase was sold privately for $80.2 million. With that being said, here we come to the end of our video. I hope you like this video. If so, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss any video. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Thanks for watching.